Most people think the problem is their job, that if they could just change it, everything else would finally fall into place. But sometimes you change the job and the same feeling follows you. Because the real problem isn't always the work, it's the life that's been forming around it. Now you might recognise this in yourself, that sometimes you might think that nothing looks wrong, something feels off, like you're still working, still showing up, still doing what you're meant to do, and nothing is obviously falling apart, but there's just something underneath it that just feels slightly off. And it's kind of hard to explain, because you tell yourself this is probably just life. Maybe it will make sense later. Maybe you just need to keep going, but the question keeps coming back. And that's usually when things slow down, when you've got space to think. And that question is, what am I actually doing with my life? And people actually turn it into, what job am I actually doing? Because sometimes the question isn't what job fits me, it's what kind of life actually fits me. Because obviously with jobs, like, you're looking at different jobs, you're trying to choose a role that you think that you maybe fit into, that what's available, what's realistic, trying to pick the right thing. Now, we've kind of been, like, from school, from college, university, after that, you've kind of landed into jobs. Not everybody's actually sat down and consciously chosen what job, like, I should be doing. Like, that's what a lot of people that are kind of unhappy with their life. Like, I'm talking obviously, like, from myself, but I'm trying to, like, kind of mirror what I'm kind of going through with a lot of other people that I've spoken to, that I've kind of seen about, and you hear in the news that I think there's, like, statistics that, like, 90% of the population don't even enjoy their job. So it's because we've not necessarily consciously chose that, we've just drifted into it. So a lot of the kind of questions is, what pays enough, what makes sense, what actually looks stable, and then asking where you fit inside it, because that feels logical. But it starts from the outside. You're choosing from what already exists, and that can work for a while. But as I said, like, things will actually feel off because you're adapting, you're not aligning, you're surviving the shape of the life, not designing it. And you don't find alignment by choosing better options. You find it by understanding how you actually fit. And this is, like, what this chapter is about. Trying to understand how you actually operate, rather than, just thinking that something's wrong with you at work. Because people are different. If people are, like, work differently, they think differently, they want different things. So the majority of the jobs, the same as from school days, it's like one job fits everybody, and that's not true. And this is why I believe that a lot of people are unhappy with the roles that they've kind of found themselves in. Because like, when you become an adult, it's like you have responsibilities, kids, mortgages, cars, and then, like, obviously you're just trying to find a job that pays a wee bit better. And obviously I've even spoke to a lot of people and, like, asked them, when was it you did a job that you were passionate about? And a lot of people just say, it's like maybe after university, or it was when I never had the responsibilities. I could just kind of have fun and not really care about it. Now, obviously that is, like, when you're younger as well, and you obviously feel as if you kind of want more of a mature job, like a job for life that you think that everybody else round about you has, and as I say, pays more bills. And that was the problem with hospitality, that a lot of people worked there and it was just to help pay their tuition to go to university and stuff, and then they always kind of moved on to a more responsible or like kind of better job kind of thing. But they always said that they enjoyed that. So this is what I'm trying to kind of unpack, because for me, hospitality was the role that I absolutely loved. Like, I loved speaking to people and being in the environment, having that buzz, because the only other way I could have that buzz, that same like alignment for me, was going out drinking. But obviously that's expensive to go out drinking all the time, and it's not realistic, and obviously you get hangovers and all the rest of it. So for me, working in hospitality, serving alcohol, being in the presence of everybody, that was, where I found myself the most kind of joyful in work. Now, the pattern was already there. There were already moments where life worked. Not perfect moments, but natural ones. Hi there. Hi there.
Hey there.
So you weren't forcing yourself, you were just moving. And then the other periods felt heavy. And that was the same person, different environments, different rhythm, different result. That's the pattern most people miss. Because it's not certain environments that bring you alive. Others slowly shut you down. And that was, as I said, like for me, the environments, the kind of things that it was connection for me was working in hospitality. But I've been in truck driving for the past 10 years now. And that's a job that I've said to myself that I don't enjoy. But because there's a bit more structure, there's a bit more longer hours, a wee bit more money, obviously, as I said, I've got responsibilities and stuff. And that would be maybe like the same for yourselves, that you have to take a role on because it pays better and pays your bills and mortgages, etc. But I don't know if it's just like a midlife crisis or whatever, but I speak to a lot of people, as I said, and they're not happy with their roles as well. Now, I've really kind of went into that part of it in these kind of YouTube channel and videos that I've been speaking about, because that was the question that I always kept thinking. Is it the job that I'm not happy with, or should I look at other parts of my life as well? And that is, for me, this is the whole journey and realizations that I've kind of just been coming into. Because, as I said, like, you've actually got a lot of time outside of work. Now, for me with the truck driving, maybe this is one reason that I've not enjoyed it, is because it's long hours, like 12, 13 hour shifts. And the time you come home, you're absolutely shattered. And it's just because like you're still getting paid hourly. So that obviously you look at, you pay hourly, I need to do more hours, etc. And that's what I thought was the responsible thing, just to kind of, I'll do extra hours and like bring more money in. And then the same as well, like what I've talked about night shift, is like you paid a couple pound extra per hour. So it sounds as if that makes sense, that's the right role. But you're just so far out of alignment with everybody else in your life. That there's so many people, so many truck drivers especially, that people do night shift, they just split up with their families. And it's definitely not a life for, it isn't actually a life, to be honest, because when you finish work, you get home and you're feeling tired, and then your partner's away to work, so then they get then when you wake up, they've just finished work and they're just like chilling out, they're kind of winding down, getting dinner, etc., and then you're just about to go to work. So you're just missing out on so much of life. But once I've moved into kind of day shift, that was the kind of the loop that I kind of got myself out of. And what I realised is that there is a lot of hours in the day, a lot of time after work, that's what I should start concentrating on. Because, yeah, as I said, like, I didn't want to just kind of keep saying, I hate this job, I shouldn't be here, this isn't me. Because that is just reinforcing negativity into your head, into your mindset. So for me, I had to like kind of take my mind away from it was the job and start choosing or doing other things, taking my mind off it. And this is what I did with all these different principles that I've been doing. The 888 rule, getting up at 6 o'clock, doing 90-day habits, etc. That's like all these little tools that, has allowed me just to kind of concentrate on that, and then just naturally kind of fall into doing different habits. Because obviously we've spoke about before about getting over addictions. It takes 90 days if you kind of come off it. If you came off it for 90 days, then that's you kind of rewiring your brain, and it's not as ingrained into you. Now it's the same as the opposite way. So I think it was actually bad habits are 66 days, but addictions are 90 days. So if you're wanting to replace like an addiction, you're wanting to have something that kind of fills that time, so that you don't kind of keep thinking about, oh, I'm going to go back and doing that kind of bad habit or addiction kind of thing. So you need to replace it with something really positive. So this is what I was doing with these small habits that I've kind of just started adding into my life. That, it was just taking my mind, getting out of my mind and into my body. And as I said, stop thinking about it's my job that I don't enjoy. So I, like, as I said, distracted myself. And then the more that I kind of added in, so I just added a new habit in each week, one a week. And then just did that every single day, like after work. Like, obviously I started doing exercise, then like cold water showers, going for forest walks, as you see. And what I did is I did one per week. And then obviously I did a video on it as well. So I was learning how to do these YouTube videos as well. So this like really took my mind off of being annoyed about my job, and actually kind of starting to get into the rhythm of it, enjoying it, learning a wee bit more. And that kind of, that just changed my kind of mindset, my life. Because then it's like, wait a minute, life isn't about just your job. It's actually about what you're doing outside your work, outside your, And then for me, obviously, with realising that I was working, like truck driving for so long, so many hours, that's when I was like, right, I need to stop working as many hours, start working a wee bit earlier, so then that I can finish earlier and I can do these activities, that I can have time spending with my kids and meeting my friends and stuff like that. And these are the kind of things that I started to feel as if it kind of reminded me of when I worked in hospitality, when I was out in Australia, when I was aligned before. Like, because that is like, as I said, the last chapter is about the 25, trying to think of 25 moments like that where you're in coherence, that you remember, that you're aligned, that you're passionate, that you're trying to, that you just had an amazing time, and you're trying to like kind of extract the kind of wisdom and trying to kind of marry up the patterns of why you were like that. So then obviously you can find another role. When I was working in hospitality, and then I went from I kind of feel as if I've I've said to my wife when I first met her that my life always I kind of described it as like kind of the yin and the yang. My life was always in the circumference. All that white ones are the dark. Everybody's always kind of balanced in the middle. And then there was me at the top, having crazy, amazing highs, and then having the crazy lows. And that's like obviously the same as work for me, like working in hospitality, and when I feel as if I was like loving it and in my flow, passionate, and then doing a job that is the opposite, being lonely, disconnected, long hours, not having a life outside of work. Like for me, this is like, it's a bit like a pendulum. And that's what I'm trying to that's what I've realised by unpacking it, that yeah, like my life has been a bit like a pendulum, swinging from the opposites, and now I'm kind of trying to just find the balance. And that was like from extracting all these kind of, do you know what I mean, the kind of ideas of looking back of when you were in coherence, when you were aligned, when you were joyful, and then trying to like kind of maybe transition into a role from like doing it in your days off. Like for me, as I said, like doing this YouTube channel, that's kind of helped me kind of unpack a lot of things. Obviously it's not really going anywhere so far, but it will go somewhere. I have the belief of that. But it's helped me kind of get into using all these different principles and different habits and like integrating that into my life. And then that's when the kind of epiphanies hit, that it's like, well, life isn't just about work. That's what I was saying about the start, is that people think that if they want to change their life for the better, then they need to find a better role, a better job. But that is not the thing. It's about finding better moments in your days off, your time after work. Start recognising that, shine a torch on those hours, and instead of just like scrolling about on TikTok or whatever, or being on TV, or just like wasting the time, the precious time that you've got left, do things. Like I actually had a friend like speak to us this week, and he's he does like 3 weeks on, and he's 2 weeks on, 3 weeks off or something. He's got so much time available, but on his days off, on his weeks off, he doesn't do much. And when he's not doing much, he just starts drinking again. Now, he's not got like a partner, not any kids and stuff like that, but so much time available. And this is the thing, this is the problem about having too much time when you've not got any direction with it, because you can just fall into habits and then the depression sinks in. So for me, it's like, as I said, that my time, like after work, I'm doing things. I'm doing different activities. I've joined the gym the other day as well. And it's like, once you're doing that in your days off, when you're working, your days off, you can actually fill them up with really enjoyable things. So like, that's what I'm saying, if I had like 2 weeks off, like there'd be so much I would do, so much I would achieve. But when somebody hasn't got that kind of mindset of what should I be doing in my days off, it just becomes lonely when you've not got people around you. So this is what I'm saying about design your life, design your time off. And like people are different as well. So some people need quiet, some people need people round about them. And I want to go into a different part of it as well, because obviously looking into like obviously like jobs, everybody's kind of thinking that to change their life they need to have a different role, a different job. And obviously, as I said before, that jobs are kind of, it's like one role for everybody. It's kind of hard to be individual because there's certain rules and expectations from you. Now obviously that's when you start thinking, right, this role doesn't fit me, I want to maybe move into something different. But then how would you know what is your role? And this is what I was saying about those 25 coherent moments, trying to look back about times that you were aligned. But I kind of want to go into something different as well, because I've kind of quite liked, like, I don't know if you know about gene keys, or I've obviously like astrology and astronomy. So like I've really delved into it quite deep. Like I always kind of go into things deep anyway. But obviously you've got your sun, your moon, your rising, and then you've also got where the planets were at the time of your birth. That's like your birth chart. And when I started looking into them, like there's so much of it that kind of resonated with me, that it was like that, like the words that was describing the person or the personality, the archetype of that moment of your birth. Like it really like described me like to the detail, and the same as like the gene keys, etc. Because yeah, I think it was like gene key 45 or something, that it's saying that like a person with these kind of particular gene keys or whatever is a person that's really suited to being in community, building like environments and stuff like that. And that's when when I looked into this, that was the Aquarius rising as well. It's like you want to be a part of a community, future orientated types of businesses. And then like my moon sign was like a Leo, so that's like warmth and like, yeah, want to be a part of things. And then my sun sign is a Virgo, and that's about like structure. Like if I don't have structure in my life, as I said, I've just drifted, and that's why I've been lost for so long. This is why like my wife split up with me, just because I drifted. So when I started delving into all these kind of archetypes and gene keys, it just gave me language for something that it was there in my head, but I just couldn't articulate it. So when actually, like, the system doesn't define you, it helps you recognize what's already been there. So yeah, like going through all that kind of work, it's not necessarily a thing that definitely kind of describes you and all the rest of it. And because that's a lot, well, I don't know, people who would watch this video probably would be into that kind of thing anyway. But I just found it really fascinating that when you go into that kind of archetype, and it gives you a bit of language for your types of personality. Like for me, like Mars and Jupiter is in Scorpio, and that's about, for me, it's like having so much depth, like an intensity, because when I go into certain things, I want to find the proper meaning from it. And that's why when, like I've said about what I want to try to create, it's about creating environments that have meaning behind it, that are like warm, and it's just like, as I said, like when I look back at the hospitality, the coherent moments, everything that I felt in those moments have been described in like my gene keys and my like birth chart. So yeah, definitely have a wee look into that, because it does like let you maybe guide you towards what kind of role you want to do, like work-wise, or what kind of business you want to create. So for me, the real shift was actually my time outside work, and that's when I started feeling a bit more aligned again. When like after going through all these kind of Aquarius rising and Leo moon and stuff, realizing that for me it is about being about community and meeting friends again and having really kind of good moments, because you don't change your life at work, you change it in the time that's already yours. And then that's what for me as well, like instead of me always just saying that I hate this job, I'm kind of just in my head just now saying it's a stepping stone, it's a transition. I will find my kind of role. Obviously I've spoke about my visions before, but they're so big, so massive that I'm just like, how am I going to get to that step, that stage? But I feel as if, it's just like a small step, like as in I trust where it's kind of leading me. And then for me with a job, it's when you stop treating your job as your prison, you can start using it as part of the bridge. Now that's what I'm trying to do. It's just, at this moment in time, like use that as a bridge, and then use the YouTube channel and doing my writing my book that I'm doing now, and unpacking different things so that, I can maybe one step at a time move forward. Because sometimes when you've got a big vision, it kind of gets makes you flustered in your head if you don't achieve it and stuff. Whereas what I've found is like once I'm doing these kind of daily habits, exercises, these are all things that I spoke to before about writing 25 things you want to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years. And that's part of the vision I have of myself, building what I want to do. So like every small step is actually a step forward towards my big vision that I want to do. And instead of just thinking it's too big, I can't do it, I'm just trusting that every wee step will just get me, lead me on to the next step. And I feel positive about that. And obviously looking back, it was the kind of hospitality role was the one that I was kind of really enjoyed. But for me, I can't necessarily, I wouldn't go back to hospitality, but obviously taking out all this kind of wisdom, marrying it up with what I said about the kind of the Aquarius rising and Leo moon and Virgo structure, marrying it with the gene keys, and it's kind of saying that like I should be helping build community, something that is meaningful. Whereas I'm like, well, there's no job that I can just go out and do that. So I need to create that job for myself. And that's the same as for anybody that's listening, that sometimes there might not necessarily be a job for you out there. So you might have to go and create that yourself. And starting by understanding who you are, understanding like the role that would fit you rather than you trying to fit a role. And that's just like bringing it back to what I just said at the very start. Is like a lot of people just find a job that they think will fit them, but it doesn't necessarily work that. You need to understand yourself first, and then that's when you can start feeling a wee bit of an alignment to find the right role, or do what I'm doing. Like on your days off, start doing something that feels in alignment, and then maybe try and transition into it. Now I did say obviously before about that pendulum swing as well, that sometimes like when I was like in alignment, well, saying that, being in alignment was actually in hospitality and stuff, but I used to try to like kind of chase that feeling, as in I used to go out for like drinks all the time and trying to create that kind of same party environment and stuff. But sometimes you can just go too far in that direction, like, as I said, you feel as if that's what you're meant to be doing, your flow, your enjoyment and stuff. But what I realised, it wasn't necessarily the kind of parties and things after it. It was actually just being, like, working in that kind of environment. And then obviously, as I said, like, I went too far the opposite way with the truck driving. And that's like being responsible, disciplined, trying to pay the bills and stuff. So, like, with the pendulum effect, what I've kind of realised is that every time it swings too far one way, that when I go back up to the other way, that it's like kind of letting me build a new baseline. Like, I'm not going as far back or far down. So if you can try to understand that yourself, that you don't fix your life by changing your job, you change how you live. So as in, like, every time you're kind of swinging back up, as I said, with the pendulum effect, it's get a bit more balance in your life. Because there's a difference between working through your life and actually living it. For years, I thought the problem was the job, but the job was only showing me the pattern. The real issue was how I was living around it and how I was using my time. What I was delaying, what I was avoiding, what I kept saying I'd do later. And when I finally started changing that, not all at once, just in small ways, something shifted. Because once your days start to feel chosen, your direction starts to become clearer. And from there, you don't need to force your whole life to change overnight. You just start building it, one choice, one habit, one day at a time. Because you don't change your life in one decision. You change it in how you choose to live every day. You don't fix your life by changing your job. You design your life and let your direction follow. Now guys, I'm going to leave it there. So, Slanjiba. Ciao.